Hey everybody, Ginger on Wheels here again. Thanks for stopping by the channel where we get to test and unbox the latest electrically wheeled gadgets. Today I'm out on the InMotion V8 that I've got, and my veteran Sherman that I ordered is actually going to be shipped this Thursday. I ordered the off-road tire and I've got the seat and the fender and the 8-amp charger coming. Today's video, however, is not about the veteran Sherman. It is about electric unicycles, an electric unicycle and water, actually, a lot of it. It is definitely the craziest story that I've got about electric unicycles and electric vehicles in general so far, and it happened to me. I can't believe it. So subscribe to the channel and I'll tell you all the little interesting details that I've got about this incident. Okay, so like 2 months ago or so, I pre-ordered the Gotway MSP from eWheels, and I was just super excited about it. I already had the veteran Sherman on pre-order, but I just couldn't wait. I heard the MSP was gonna come earlier, and it was like the most torquey wheel around, and I was looking for an off-road one, so pre-ordered it. After a couple months of waiting and changing my mind, I switched back and forth if I actually wanted it or not. I ended up getting it, and it was the most amazing wheel ever. The torque was incredible. It did great off-roads. I took it for probably like 5 or 6 rides before the incident. I think it was a Thursday, and I was riding around with my buddy Eli. We were doing some off-roading. He's got an MSP too, and he was showing me these cool new trails he knows of. Oh gosh, stairs. There we go. This is up some steep vertical. This is nuts. If you don't have power pads on your unicycle, you're not doing this. We spent probably about an hour or two just totally shredding it up in these trails by his house. And we parted ways, and I was on my way home and probably cruising about 20, 30 miles an hour on this trail. And the trail parallels a river, and it's called the Sammamish River, but it's more like a slough. It's kind of a swamp. It's like a stagnant river, and it smells like feces kind of. It's not the greatest river. But I saw this group of kids on Lime scooters and said, "What's up, guys on Lime scooters?"
No, it's not.
You Lime scooter gang?
Yes, that's what we were called, yes.
Wait a minute, is that an M365?
ES3.
ES3, nice.
Those things look a little bit harder.
It's a little bit of a learning curve, but like once you get it, and after a while of talking to them, I just kind of sped past them, and I was hitting the beeps on my MSP. And out of nowhere, I got the most insane speed wobbles, like unmanageable. And I felt like it lasted forever, but it was probably only 10 or 15 seconds. But the whole entire wheel just, it was going just crazy. So my leg actually flew off the pedal, and the pedal scraped up one side of my leg. And then that leg is just flying around in the air. I couldn't maintain balance for any longer. Sure enough, the other leg flies out the other pedal and gets scraped by the other pedal. So I've got 2 scrapes on the inside of my legs now. I'm flying through midair. I do a couple of barrel rolls and I land in the dirt trail that's like right by the river and in between the trail and the river, really. And I was lucky I landed there because my injuries would have been way worse if I hadn't. But I did a couple of rolls and I looked around and I realized I was actually okay. Like, I was wearing all my gear, and all my gear took all the fall. Like, my wrist guards were shot, my knee guards were shot, I smashed my helmet up. But I look around, and sure enough, the kids on the Lime scooters come rolling up, and they're like, "Oh my God, dude, what happened? Was that a trick?" And I was like, "No, that was not a trick." And I look around, and I realize, I don't have my unicycle. Where's my unicycle? The kids look at me, and they're like, "Are you gonna get your thingy?" And I was like, "What do you mean, get my thingy?" "Yeah, it's in the river." The only way that I can tell that it's actually in the river definitively is because I can see the lights, the little LED lights on the side, and the headlight for the MSP, the tail light and everything was still on, and the wheel was just sitting probably submerged like 5-6 feet underwater. I can't even describe to you the feeling. Like, it was the most gut-wrenching feeling, seeing my unicycle in the river like that. So after about 10 seconds of the whole group realizing my wheel was in the water, one of the kids looks at me and says, "Hey, will you give me 10 bucks if I go and get it?" And I'm thinking, like, yes, I'll give you 10 bucks if you can get it before me, because there's no way I'm not going in after it. So I stripped off a bunch of my gear and threw my phone and my wallet on the ground, and I just dove in after the wheel. And one of the kids that was there took a video of it. It's ridiculous. I trudged into the swamp like waist deep, dove down and pulled my wheel out of the water and was holding it over my head as it was just draining raw sewage all over my face, and I was climbing out of the riverbank.
Looks like your UFO just crashed in there.
It's freaking insane. What the heck?
Bro, you're coming out the swamp. This is like a movie, bro. Go and grab it. That's freaking sick.
But yeah, it was ridiculous. After about 5 minutes, the kids on the scooters left. I gave them my Instagram, so that's how I have these videos. If you're one of the kids that was there and you're watching this, thanks for stopping, you guys. And sorry I made your night so ridiculous, but thanks for the video. It was a fun story, wasn't it? Okay, so I sit there for about 15 minutes with my wheel trying to get it to work. It's kind of working, the lights are blinking, it's intermittently turning on and off, like the Bluetooth just randomly starts playing T-Swift out of nowhere. My MSP zone is last. Come on, don't die, baby. Please don't die. Oh, it just turned on. Just stay there. No, it's got... Please, don't catch on fire. So here's the wheel 20 minutes after going into the river. When you lift it up, it does strange things. So I call up Eli and I'm like, hey dude, crashed my wheel in the river. Is there any way you could come like help me out? So he comes darting back from his house on his wheel, and he was gonna like come tow me to the nearest parking lot, I guess, but that's the best $2,000 flashlight you can buy.
I don't actually think this is probably the best flashlight.
I think you could buy a much better flashlight for $2,000. But at this point, that's all the wheel does. It flew into the river at full speed, and I feel like an idiot. So he just kind of like escorted me like a tugboat to the parking lot as I was riding this wheel that had just been submerged, which was the worst idea. It turns out that riding the wheel after it had fallen into the river, I think, is what fried the control board. When Eli and I get back to the parking lot, his wife's there in their car and they offer to give me a ride home, but they're like, we're not taking the wheel in the car. So we left the wheel in the parking lot overnight. And I wake up the next morning and the first thing I want is, let's go get the wheel. So we go get the wheel and it's not working, 100% not working at all. So I messaged eWheels and told them about it. And eWheels offered to sell me a new control board for a couple $100, and I agreed. Against their better judgment, against the judgment of everybody online. Everyone was like, definitely just scrap that wheel. Don't even sell it. Just don't even try and fix it. It's a fire hazard at this point. But what do? I order the control board and I fix it. So I go over to Eli's house at the new control board, and we spend a few hours trying to figure out how to get the new control board in, because it was not the same as the one that had fried. I guess in the 2 weeks that I had it and then they got the new control board, they had changed it to a new iteration already. So, and for the record, I will post the wiring diagram of the Gotway MSP 100 volt torque edition right now, in case you're here for that for whatever reason. But after a few hours of tinkering around with it, Eli and I actually got it to work. So the wheel was working, everything except for like the Bluetooth module and a couple of other little components, but the entire rest of the wheel works. Everything works as it's supposed to. Okay, this is it. Moment of truth. Push the power button. It beeped. Does it balance?
Yeah.
All the lights turn on? Those are the rear lights? Okay, push the headlight. No way. No way, dude, it works? How? Yes, the swamp monster lives. I've ridden probably about 50 miles since I crashed it, taken it through 2 charge cycles so far, like no issues, so I've got my fingers crossed that it's gonna last me. In fact, I'm so sure that the thing's gonna last me that I actually ordered some cool decals and stickers for it, and I named it the Swamp Monster. Out here on the MSP 100 volts, and we got free lunch. Let's see, oh yes. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. Good stuff. So that's my most crazy story about EUCs, PEVs. Thanks for watching, thanks for paying attention. If you enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe to the channel and you'll get more crazy stories, I'm sure, when I get my veteran Sherman in the mail next week. We'll see you guys then.